We have breaking news out of Missouri, which we have brought in King Law's Trisha Green because she's admitted to practice in Missouri. And the breaking news is that there are multiple cops who have been accused of stealing nudes from, it sounds like, women during traffic stops.
Yeah.
Kind of gross.
Yeah, very gross.
Yeah.
So 2 officers not connected, which is extra frightening. They are, during traffic stops or during arrests, taking these women's phones either to look at their insurance or they've already been arrested, so they're going through their phones and finding the nudes and either taking pictures on their phones of these women's nudes or texting videos of these women nude to themselves, to their own phone. It's very brazen.
Yes, and there are 2 cops that are accused of doing this, which are not related, like the incidents are not related, which is very odd to me.
Yeah, so one is was an officer in the city of Florissant, which is near St. Louis.
Okay.
And then about 3 hours south, there was a state trooper in Cape Girardeau who was doing the same, well, not the same thing, but yeah, pretty much, yeah. Around the same time, too.
I want to know how, let's talk about this a little bit, how the cops get their hands on these phones. Like, you don't have to give over your cell phone, correct?
Correct. Yeah, you absolutely don't have to give over your phone.
During a traffic stop.
But that's how they get people. Often people want to help cops. They want to do the right thing, especially if you're in an accident. That officer's there to help you. So, of course, I'll give you my phone. We're looking at both state and federal charges. The federal charges that just dropped and why this is breaking news, they've been charged with counts for each woman whose rights have been violated of depriving them of their rights under color of the law. So I can tell you, give me your phone, and you can say, no, that's ridiculous. But if I'm an officer, I'm using my authority, I'm using my power to say—
An intimidation factor.
Yes, either intimidation or help you. Like, I'm in a position to either make you comply or you want to let me help you.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it so extra interesting and what makes these federal charges. Also, they each got a count of trying to get rid of the evidence. So they both tried to wipe their phones. The FBI doesn't like that. Don't do that. Don't destroy evidence.
Probably, yes, exactly. We have many videos on don't
commit the crime
destroy
either.
evidence. Yeah.
Don't commit gross crimes, but also don't destroy evidence.
Tell me, how does it go from something in local court to federal charges?
So those are totally different entities. There are state laws that have been violated and then also federal laws that have been violated.
Okay. So 2 separate cases going on. Not merged, but 2 separate.
Correct.
Okay.
And then also, at least one of them so far is facing civil lawsuits based on this violation of their civil rights. So good for these women for suing the officer and the city.
Yes, yeah. Do we know how many women probably have been impacted? I mean, there's probably more that just no one knows about yet.
Yeah, so it's, at least in the indictments, we have 20 women in the one with the officer from Florissant, and then we have 9 for the state trooper in Cape Girardeau. So 29 women so far. I think a lot of them didn't know until one came forward, and then the FBI started calling people and saying, hey, I think we have your nude photos.
Like, how did this even unfold? How did they get caught? Which is it's good that they got caught, but I'm like, did they send it to other people? That's frightening. As a victim, like, you have no idea where any of these photos or where they went and, like, how many people have seen them.
That's a very good point. We don't know if they sent them anywhere. I don't think that's how they got caught, though. Hold on.
Yeah.
I need to make sure, but I'm pretty sure one person figured it out.
And while you're looking that up, I just find it's very interesting that it's such an invasion of privacy, and these officers' duty is to uphold the law, and yet they're the ones breaking it and breaking people's trust in them. And I feel like it's such a disservice to everyone when you're supposed to be able to trust cops doing their job correctly instead of exploiting people.
Absolutely. The position of police officer comes with a lot of power, and for us as a society to give you that power, we've put a lot of trust in you, and these officers clearly violated it.
Right.
I did see that one of them has surrendered his peace officer license. So in Missouri, and
probably a good idea.
Correct. Yeah. So in Missouri, you have to have a peace officer license to be able to do any sort of law enforcement. He voluntarily surrendered it. Often they don't, and you have to fight it. When I worked in Missouri, that was actually one of my jobs. When I was an assistant attorney general, part of My job was professional licensing, so when there were complaints made against police officers, even if there aren't criminal charges, the Attorney General can investigate and look into whether or not this person should be on the force. So I'm glad he did the right thing now, finally, and turned that over. But definitely something to think about with officers. If you think there's no recourse, there is. There's not just the criminal charges that you and I could face, but they have a professional license and they have to keep that up. At least in Missouri, it could vary state by state. So
yeah. If you could guess, what do you think the outcome of this case would be?
I think,
or these cases?
Yeah, cases. I wouldn't look for much leniency for these officers. Generally, when you break this kind of trust, judges don't like this, juries don't like this.
Right.
You have really crossed a line where you were there to protect these people. Were just going about their day, and you've invaded their privacy. That you've taken something that they didn't want to share with you.
Right.
So I think that they are not going to get much leniency from the court, and I think that both the officers and the government entities that employed them are looking at some civil liability here.
Right. I'm assuming that there is going to be an open investigation or some sort of deeper dive into this, because now you have two cops in two different areas that were not, working with each other, having this happen. How do you keep something like this from happening again?
That's a really good question, and the fact that these were two separate officers who weren't working in tandem makes this extra fascinating and worse.
Yeah. Right. That's what makes me question, how do you investigate this further to see if this is happening elsewhere, and then how do you prevent it in the future, if you can? I
think the best way to prevent things like this, one is to don't give your phone to police officers if you have things in there, even if they're not crimes.
So know your rights.
You don't have to. Know your rights. Assert them. You're your own best advocate. If you did give your phone and you think something happened, call the head of Highway Patrol. Call your Attorney General. In this case, call the FBI. So if you had contact with these officers and they had your phone, call. Be aware that if you have things on your phone, even if it's legal and it is your right to have whatever you want on your phone, that it could get out there.
Right.
So just be internet smart, phone smart, technology smart.
Keep your phone protected.
Yeah. Password, Face ID.
Right.
Don't make them get a search warrant to get your phone. Call a lawyer if a cop wants to look at your phone. And also we need to be diligent when we're screening officers. I think neither of these guys had any prior bad histories, at least what I've seen so far. So I don't know how we would have known that they were going to be absolute creeps, but they were. So I think one of the good ways we could prevent it is let's not give them leniency. Let's keep this in the news. Let's make sure we know that if you do this,
you'll be held accountable.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It will be interesting to see how this unfolds, and we'll keep you all updated with updates as well.
Yeah, we'll check in and see how this is going and see that these officers are held accountable. And if you think you had contact with these officers, definitely the FBI would love to talk to you.